Hi everybody, I'm Tara from Crooked Row, and it is a beautiful early morning. It's not too early. I got up early. I was up at 4, but it's like about 9:30 right now. I just came out to check to see how the herbs are looking and if they had too much dew on them, and they don't. So today I'm going to go ahead and clip a bunch of our herbs, and I'm going to be definitely showing you about thyme and rosemary and how you can put those away apart from drying. I think most people think that you have to dry them and then feel like it gets like too tedious, but I have super fast ways to cut them and get them put up for either later use or well, we'll get to that later. So I'll go ahead. I'm in the Half Moon Garden. If you can see behind me, you see all the crimson basil, and that's so beautiful. But we also have sage. I don't know if you can see, actually. Here are some of my thyme plants. This is first year thyme, so I think they had good growth. I mean, they were only about that big when I put them in. So started them from seed inside the grow room. They look pretty good. Our rosemary, let me zoom in. Now it looks like we've had an animal step on this one, but it has pretty good growth again for first year, and that one has pretty good growth. So I have my pruning shears, not pruning shears, yeah, well, my clippers, and my basket, my harvesting basket. So I'm going to get to clipping these. I did want to say that thyme and rosemary are both woody. So there's two ways of thinking of this as far as cutting goes. So a lot of people will only cut the very, very flexible portion of the stem. You can totally do that. Or if you want to maintain size and you don't want it to get like woody and kind of build up a structure that's more like a bush instead of like a little herb plant, then you want to cut all the way back, even if the stem is woody. So I hope that makes sense. I'll show you once I get down, I'll show you, especially on the thyme, what I'm talking about. Let's get started. Okay, so see how down at the bottom of this plant, it is more woody. I mean, you can just feel it. And it does not feel the same as these stems up here are like a little bit pink. And you kind of see that all at the tips of the plant. Now, if I leave those there, then the pink parts, then everything that is left, especially over winter, is going to turn into this, like this woody part. And I personally don't want that. Now, some people do because they want this to get what they call a structure to it, and it grows very, very large. I don't need that because I have so many of these plants that I don't have to worry about them getting huge. So I'm just going to, now I don't want to cut the whole thing because I still want to give it leaves to grow on, but I am going to cut a very good portion. I don't take the entire plant though, because I want some of the leaves to be there. But I am going to take the top portions over here. Leaves help feed the plant, so I don't want to like totally strip it. But these are becoming, see how long that is? I need to sharpen those. Trimming up these helps with growth as well. It'll give it a bushier growth habit. Okay, so now I'm gonna do probably a few more thyme and definitely some rosemary. Same principle applies to the rosemary. because we went ahead and we got the basil and all that, I wanted to bring you over also. It is just the perfect time, in my garden anyway, to start harvesting goldenrod. Now you want to be very careful if you're going to dry goldenrod, because if they become past their prime, then it will get those fluffy things on it the way dandelions do, and you're going to have a mess wherever you're drying them. So a lot of these, they'll turn like a really kind of dark muted yellow instead of that vibrant bright yellow when they're past. Now the bright yellow ones, I mean the slightly past their prime ones, can be used for tinctures, although this, where they're super new, are always better for a tincture. I'm not going to make a tincture this year because I still have some left from last year, but I am going to cut some of these so that I can dry them. I had to show you this. This is in like a hidden spot in our garden because it's so overgrown back here. The plum tree row, and this is so gorgeous and so vibrant, and there are just so many pollinators on it. It's not just bees, it's soldier beetles are on it, and there's little tiny wasps. And so if there's tons of pollinators and bumbles and moths and all of that on there, you know that it's good to go. So it has totally flowered. So you do want to be careful, because this is when they start. It's vibrant right now, but in a day it will be too dark to use. So just zoom in on, look very, very closely, and you will see that they are flowered. You just don't want them to go slightly past that flowering stage for drying. Again, for drying. Okay, we are all done cutting the herbs. I cut the most of the time because I just planted that much time. Sorry, let me grab the thing. So I have 2 gallon Ziploc freezer bags that tell what it is and what the date is. Don't forget the date. You're gonna get into your freezer. We put ours in our chest freezer, and then we forget how many years it's been there. Even though I try to clean it out every spring, sometimes things just slip by you. You might pick it up with something else and kind of put it in the wrong place, essentially. So I'm gonna turn the camera around so that you can actually watch how I do this. Okay, so I have my thyme bag, and I'm just going to stuff this bag with my thyme. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mostly close this. So I'm just going to kind of, if you can see this, I don't know if you can see that very well. I'm just going to kind of squish that thyme down. I don't know if you can hear that air coming out, but I can. It's like shh. So I'm going to squish it flat first and kind of push the air out. It's on this side. And then I'm going to real tightly roll this bag to get the rest of that air out. And just work to move that air to your open side. And then close it off. And look how well that worked. I mean, it's actually curling up because there's no air in there. Do you see those kind of wrinkles? I mean, getting as much air out of this as possible is exactly what you want. And then you just put this right in the freezer. I'm going to do the rosemary right now too. Now I'm going to make sure the whole thing is sealed. And it's it's not quite vacuum sealed, but if you look at these, almost, I mean, there's wrinkles in them. Like it definitely looks like almost like a machine did it. And so I'm just going to put this in the coldest part of our freezer. And whenever I need the herbs, they're there for me to just go in. And these are easy too because they're on stems. I can just open this bag. But when you put it back in the freezer, don't forget to do this process again so that this stays nice and fresh. Remember, air is your enemy. Air is your enemy. So I'll go put these in and be right back. Well, there you have it. That is how you can quickly harvest your herbs and put them away fast. Now, one reason why we can actually do that with the rosemary and the thyme is because they're pretty resinous and they have those stems, and they're both actually very winter hardy. The kind of rosemary that I got is very winter hardy. It's good for my zone. But as I read online, I think all rosemary does well in the freezer. I'm not sure why that is, considering they don't do well outside, but they do, and I have done it. And sometimes I'll do what I do with other herbs, where I'll do it in the food processor and with oil, and because that oil acts as a preservation method, and then I'll put them in ice cube trays, freeze those, and then put them in a Ziploc. When I don't have time, like I don't have time today because I have to go run errands, I definitely will do that method. And the goldenrod, I just have like a handful of it. I'm going to hang that up in a cool, dry place, and it'll take about 2 weeks for it to dry. Sometimes longer, you just have to feel it. And then I'll put it in a canning jar. And we definitely use that as an addition to teas when my kids are sick. I know they help with cough and some different ailments. And I'm not a doctor, but we moms at home play doctor for our children when, you know, they have coughs and colds and things. So I love these little remedies that help with that. So anyway, there are a lot of other things for me to do today, and I have to hurry and get done so I can run errands. But I really encourage you to, even if you feel like you don't have time to put away your herbs, figure out fast methods for you so that some people like drying them. I love dried herbs too. They're stronger. But sometimes there's nothing like fresh herbs. Like I love to make any kind of lamb dish, but I make a certain lamb dish that is a leg of lamb, and I love to put the whole sprigs into I braise it for a long time, and then I like to pull them out because they still hold so much of their structure, and I kind of decorate the platter with it. And I just love that. I love decorating with the natural things that you cook with. But so you can totally have, if you're in a zone 6 or higher, you definitely can have rosemary growing as a perennial. The plant that I got was from, I believe, Swallowtail Nursery, Swallowtail Seeds. And they do a very good job at offering things for all different types of zones. But make sure, always know your zone and then check your zone. It's not that they won't grow, but they definitely won't grow as a perennial. So, but they do have one on there, and I think it's called like, I don't remember what it's called. But it is one that fits my zone. So I should have perennial sage and perennial rosemary and thyme that stays in that half moon garden that we made. So I'm very excited to have a perennial herb garden again. So it's that easy. That took all of 30 minutes. And it only took 30 minutes because I was filming. If I wasn't filming, that might have taken 5. So I want to encourage you to get out and save your rosemary and your thyme. And remember, if we can quickly save our rosemary and thyme, anybody can. Thanks. Bye.